Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskin, and we are doing every song Uriah Heep recorded in the studio from the beginning through songs we haven't even heard yet, because the new album's not out yet, but it is being mixed, which is great and not far from me, actually. So today we are digging into this song, Only the Young. This is the fifth track off of the band's 20th studio album, Sonic Origami, released in 1998. Let's take a listen and we'll go from there. Here it is. Well, this has a really lovely warm tone to it. I like the energy of it without having to have a fast tempo. And the key to that really is the rhythm guitar. You know, just picking away there, it really keeps it in motion, keeps it moving forward, but you don't have to have a fast tempo to create this feeling. As you can hear by the drums, the tempo is not very fast. So that actually is a nice way to do things. And then I love the additional guitar and the little bit of flange that's on that, just doing those strums and letting the chord ring out a little bit. And then the introduction of the keyboard, they're integrating very nicely together. Really good volume balance between the two, and drums sound nice and powerful on this. It really kind of feels almost a little bit more, I would say more like late 80s than late 90s. But, I didn't listen to a lot of music in the 90s. So, there's probably a lot of stuff that I missed.
I haven't listened to a word you've said. I've been wondering inside my head. Don't care what you think of me. You only see what you want to see. So here I am in my paradise. In my heaven, everything's alright.
As is so typical with Uriah Heep, they always find one note to play in a progression that just kind of throws me off. There's just always one that I don't think they would go to, and then they go to it. And then I'm like, yeah, that actually was pretty cool. I'm glad you made that decision. I really like this here. It's just very gentle. The rhythm keeps going, but it's really just opened up for Bernie to sing. And I love what Phil's playing, just so gentle, but very well blended. It's a little more on the higher end of the pitch spectrum, which is kind of nice because then you've got that sort of low grinding rhythm that's happening, and is a really nice balance and gives a little bit more spectrum to the song. I love those lines of Bernie's opening here. I basically just am not even listening to you. I'm in my own head. You're talking. I don't really care. I'm focusing on me and what's going on in my brain right now. That seems to be a pretty high topic of, I guess, lack of conversation these days. Seems like a lot of people are doing that, which gets us nowhere. But this isn't a political podcast. No, I can't even say the word podcast. This is a music podcast. So let's get back to the song. That's a very interesting style to throw the vocals into the background like that, coming off of the first part of the chorus. I really like that. I love the reverb that they put on it. It's not really panned any differently, so it doesn't feel like, 3D panning like we have now, where you could throw that, further away very easily. But no, this sounds really good. I like that. I love how thick the chorus sounds. And then, a great transition back into what's probably going to be the next verse.
I've been around for a long time, losing my way, but not my mind. So I drink and play along, but who cares when the fire burns on? So I'm out here in my paradise.
Love that with whenever Bernie does that, just, uplifting and putting a little extra power in it going into a chorus sounds fantastic. Love the keyboards too. What they're doing here, just adding those layers is really good and powerful. And again, doing kind of a sweep into the chorus. I'm not really hearing bass specifically. I guess what it's doing is he's probably just following Mick on the rhythm track. He's not doing anything outside of that anyway that would stand out, not popping any notes or doing any runs or anything. But the drums are nice and solid right along with the rhythm and the bass. It's such a tight rhythm section on this song, and that's important if you're going to play that sort of staccato style rhythm. It's important that everybody be together, otherwise it just turns into kind of a chaos. And unless that's what you want, which in a song like this you really don't want unless you're going for a specific effect at a certain point, then you want everything to be nice and tight. So the song sounds fantastic, and it's doing exactly what it needs to do.
Only the young stay young, I said. Things stop get inside my head. Only the young stay young inside. Only the young stay young, I said. Things stop get inside my head. Only the young stay young at heart. Only the young.
Through the chorus, it's now such a great blend of that organ and the guitar, those longer chords that are just being held. Really well balanced. Again, a beautiful mix on this song. I love the vocal feel too. It just cries out, and it's such a great delivery from Bernie. You can't help but to really kind of feel an emotion going with it.
Only the young. Only the young. Only the young. Live your life in this time. We will live today. Drink life's right. Don't be fooled. Don't believe what they say. Don't believe what they say.
A great fill there at the end, coming from Lee Kerslake to transition again into the next thing. I love the way that he plays those. He really hits well. He knows what to accent, what to bring forward, and what to kind of just lay back on and add sound. Very, very talented drummer. But that last part was killer. I mean, it really came in with an extra level of power to it, something very unexpected, and it really worked for the song. Great idea.
What they say. I haven't listened to a word you said. Sing.
I love the guitar here. I mean, the sound is fantastic of the guitar, but also the fact that the playing, I really like that this isn't a solo in this song. I mean, basically Mick came in, he replaced the vocalist, he carried that same emotion that I was just talking about. And sometimes that's all a song needs. It doesn't necessarily need a solo, after the second chorus or, wherever you're going to put it. I really like that, and it really does carry on. And I mentioned earlier, the emotion that Bernie was singing with. I mean, that's basically what writing music is. It's supposed to make you feel something as a writer. Hopefully your audience will feel something as well. That's why we listen. Sometimes we listen because we want to get pumped up. Sometimes we listen because we're feeling sad and we need something to kind of help us through that. Sometimes we just want something that just feels good, like this song. And that is the beauty of music. That's why we do it.
I haven't listened to a word you said. Say what you like, you're not in my head. Time goes with each breath we take. It rules the world the day we awake. So I sit here in my paradise. Don't give a damn, everything's alright. Only the young stay young, I said. Things stop get inside my head. Only the young stay young inside.
I love the guitars in that last verse. Mick took it up another notch and is playing not quite a solo, not quite following Bernie exactly, but definitely has that lyrical feel to that part of the track. And that really sets up the chorus to be even more powerful. When you're walking in to the chorus with a certain amount of steam coming off of the verse, the chorus then follows that and enhances it, right? So in the past, in this song, you've had some good rhythms going into a chorus, sounds great. Then you have this part going into a chorus. It just makes the chorus that much better. I really like the addition of the synthesizer there. I like that it just kind of comes in at the transition and then dissipates. That's a really nice touch. And it's those little additions sometimes that really make the biggest difference in a song. Now that's how you do it. If you're going to put a solo in a song like this that has, that kind of level of emotion and passion in it, I think it really works to do these solos at the end. And instead of that one spot where Mick basically just kind of replaced Bernie and continued along with what Bernie was doing, I like that he did that and then did the solo stuff at the end. There's some great keyboard work in there too. One thing I really love about this whole last section is the sound of the bass guitar. I love the progression, of course, and hearing it basically just being on the bass, it sounds like it's a bass synth. So maybe Phil's playing along with him as well. I'm not sure because it doesn't really sound like a straight bass guitar. And it could be a pedal, like a synth pedal or something too. In 98, I know we had guitar synths in 98. I'm not sure if we had any bass synths, but you could use a guitar synth on a bass. So I'm not sure exactly who's creating that sound. I'm sure Trevor's is the primary on it and maybe a little bit of Phil. But in any case, it just has a real interesting sound to it. And it works so beautifully with that progression. I could just get into following that and really enjoy it. But then on top of this, you got some great solo work here. Love the sound. This song is so great. I don't know exactly the description of what it is that it makes me feel, but I can tell you that it's disappointing only in that it's over. I kind of want to chase that dragon, right? I want to follow where the song is going and go with the solos and hear what else is going on. I want to keep that bass rhythm in my head. And the only weird thing is at the very end, as it's fading out, there's a broken fill by Lee Kerslake. And what I mean by broken is it's got space in it. And a lot of times that's okay. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. To me, in this position, it's kind of a weird fill. I'm not sure I really like that one, but big deal. It's overall, it's just a fantastic song, very well played, well crafted. And I love that they didn't do the solo in the middle of the song. I thought that was a brilliant touch. I was secretly hoping that there would be something at the end, but I was like, well, if it just goes off of this and fades out, that's fine. Or they end it suddenly or whatever, that's fine. But I'm really glad they did the ending they did because I think it just makes the song 10 times better than it was, which I clearly liked. If I didn't express that, I don't know what more I could do to express that. But no, I really dug this song. I think it's a great one. This will be likely in heavy rotation in those, rare moments I actually listen to music these days. But yeah, great job, Uriah Heep. So that is our song. We are off tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday for the song In the Moment, the next track on Sonic Origami. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!